Alright, good day. So today I'll be telling you all you need to know. I'll be informing you all you need to know about GT 102 for this you know second semester 100 level basically. So first off, GT 102 is not that difficult. It's special attention. You understand what GT 102 is trying to tell communicate to you. It's just basically drawings, and then drawings using measurements. So if you are good at drawing, there's no reason you should be good at GT, because the difference between a normal drawing, which is an artistic drawing, and an engineering drawing is just engineering drawing uses measurements. While artistic drawing, it's a freestyle drawing. You don't necessarily need measurements for drawing it. So first off, you just know about the introduction, right? They'll just introduce you to engineering drawing. They'll tell you the features of engineering drawings, types of drawings, technical and artistic drawing, like I said earlier, all those kind of things, your tools for drawings, your basic things, maybe understanding of lines and those things. So that's pretty much all about introduction. So those ones are just entry level kind of things. They could ask you questions so on that, during exams, maybe ask you for the features of the engineering drawing, or even types of engineering drawing, things like that. So next up, we now dive into major drawings. We now dive into major drawings where you start drawing things like this, things like this that you are seeing now. So normal drawings using your dimensions and all that, much of which will be explained later on in other videos. Okay, so then after you learn your drawings, you now start talking about AutoCAD. AutoCAD is basically an application in your an application software, in your system, in your computers, where you don't use normal manual practice to draw those objects. You use your computers. It's with the aid of computers, drawings have been made easier for engineers. So AutoCAD is one of the software that enables that. So they will begin to tell you about Autodesk AutoCAD, where they tell you the types of those the types. They will tell you also your user interface, your UI, which means the things you see when you open the application, right? And in later videos, we are going to treat those topics or those sections that is based on the computer part, even on the manual part, and then based on the computer part, we are going to treat it effectively. You will see what they mean by the user interface, basically what you are seeing, right? User interface is basically how we the users communicate with the software. So it's what we see on on what you see in front of the system. That's what's called user interface, where you see your icons, you see your tools, you see different things that you can use to make those which will help your drawing possible, right? So then next up, we'll now talk about the basic operations, and then we can also talk about how you can plot with it, right? It's just basically entry level. They teach you how you use it. You see the view or how it is, you see the items there, and then teach you how to use it. The next up is something called Fusion 360, right? Fusion 360, they have how you can draw. You can understand, first of you understand what Fusion 360 is still on AutoCAD, and then you understand, they'll now teach you on how to draw 2D objects and 3D objects with it, right? Then they also have what they call Autodesk SolidWorks. Autodesk SolidWorks, they will teach you something of path modeling, and then also you will now learn on SolidWorks modeling. So basically, you are creating SolidWorks now, right? SolidWorks, if it's a gear you want to make, you actually make a solid work on gear. It will look very realistic. That as it's basically, let's just pull it out from the system, you understand? Pull it out of the system, and it will work functionally as every real object that has been made. Just like I say, just like engineering drawing basically is just how you know it's just basically the blueprint of drawing. the blueprint of drawing. That is just basically the definition of engineering drawing. So whatever that you see real, whatever the bridges you see, the cars you see, are basically, engineering drawing that made it possible. They made the sketch, or we say they made a blueprint of it on system or on paper, and then they transfer it, on actual construction. So you are going to learn on SolidWork, modeling. It's very realistic. You use Autodesk SolidWork, right? Then that is pretty much all about GT. Then you see, also we'll talk a lot on you know on isometric drawing, orthographic drawing. That is basically on the manual part, right? That is using your hands to draw it. Even in Autodesk, there's isometric and orthographic drawing. And then we have exams, and tests. Most of these things, we won't be using much of the system, right? We'll be using majorly manual, right, which is our hands, our tools to draw it, which will be explained in details in later videos. I'm going to show you how to do your orthographic drawing, your isometric drawing, your first angle projection, your third angle projection, everything you really need to know about engineering drawings. And we'll also treat on past questions, right? Past questions, treat on tests, treat on examples, assignments, on all these questions that frequently pop up on engineering drawing, in photo, and also in university in general, right? I'm going to touch everything. I'm going to make sure you understand engineering drawing to the fullest. Trust me, it's a fun experience.